Welcome to Crazy Gamer Models. I am the Crazy Gamer and I do models. Hey folks, as always, put the links up at the beginning of the video. I'm going to keep it consistent for right now. But right now, I want to speak to you about the upcoming and future content from Crazy Gamer Models. Due to the new regulations with COPPA, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, and the new YouTube regulations with marking videos for children and the issues you could have and the penalties you could face and things like that. So I'm going to address that stuff today. I'm going to work on, we're going to come down here and we're going to work on my Tiger model here. We're working on the turret. We got this little guy right here working on the turret. And I'm going to address some issues about brush painting and things like that that I have brought up on Facebook groups and all that good stuff. First things first is let's talk about the turpits, because there's going to be a live stream of me building that again. This is the hull of the turpits, and I have brush painted some primer on here. It was Mr. Surfacer 1500 gray, and I just used a super cheap brush like this right here, and I brushed it on there and it looked real blotchy. And then after it dried, 24 hours, I came in and I hit it with some Tamiya 1500 sanding sponge and kind of just took out the rough spots. So, and it's dirty. So in a future video on the turpits when we're building it, possibly in the next live stream, I'm going to put a color on it, most likely Hull Red from Vallejo model color. Yeah, Hull Red right here. I'm going to put this on there. And I'm going to brush paint it on. I'm going to let it dry along with some other paint and see if I can sand it back to a good looking finish and just do a brush painting and see if it's feasible to do that without airbrush. So that's my project that I'm working on about brush painting, because as I've spoken before, I'm not able to spray any kind of paint with aerosol and things like that due to some medical conditions. And that includes an airbrush, even acrylics, even wearing a mask, because, well, frankly, I can't wear the mask because I can't breathe. So I don't really have a choice in the matter, so I use this as a primer, brushing it on, and I use a fan to vent away the fumes. So the future of the channel. Well, I'm sure most people who make YouTube videos or are big fans of making YouTube videos and watch a lot of other bigger channels and things like that have all seen videos addressing the new regulations coming out. I'm not going to get into why they're coming out or whose fault it is or what is all that stuff. I'm basically going to discuss how it is going to affect me and my channel. This does not apply to anyone else's channel. If you have a channel, I would consult your own advice. Don't take what I'm doing on my channel for that would be good for your channel or as perfect advice, because I'm sure that some of this is going to change in the future. But right now, I don't make videos for kids. I don't intend my videos for kids. I don't use vulgar content. I don't make vulgar content. I don't make dirty references or things like that. So I don't think a child would have a problem or be offended, or a parent would be offended watching my videos. I do use some tools like a scalpel to clean my parts, but I try not to. In most cases, I try to use the safer mold line remover and things like that. But you know, if I put out there, you know, my video is for kids, and then you know, you see me using a scalpel, and you know, some kid uses a scalpel and cuts himself, you know, am I going to be liable for that? You know, that's one thing. But you know, from what I understand, is it doesn't matter what the content is or who the content's directed to. It's all about what box you check and how you want your videos to be viewed. If you want people to actually see your videos, you preferably don't want to have it marked for kids. I mean, that's basically the bottom line there. Because if it is marked for kids, then it's not going to be searchable. There's not going to be any notifications when it goes up and things like that. So you're going to want to try to avoid that. And speaking to people that I have spoken to, me doing model kits and building models, and most of the models I build and all future models I build, the manufacturer recommended age on my models is at least 14 and up, and the aftermarket parts are 14 and up. So I will continue, and that will be the only models that I display on my channel. A lot of my previous content is gonna be removed and things like that, like my gaming content on there. I'm not sure about my Warhammer stuff. I haven't made a decision on that or had someone get back to me on that. So that is basically where that stands on that. So basically, the models that I'm currently building, you know, the Panther, the Tiger, and the ships and future stuff, that is hopefully going to continue if my channel still exists after the first of the year. That is going to be something that is going to continue. And if you didn't know what I was doing, I'm just going to show this real quick. I'm working on this King Tiger, part of my build review that's been going on forever because it's a complex model. We're working on the inside of the lower turret area. I'm just basically, I cut off all the parts on my little organizer here, and basically I'm just going to clean them up in this video and chat with you guys about what I'm going to do. Now, one of the biggest changes that I feel that I have some exposure on is my name, Crazy Gamer Models. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's go. Let's say since PlayStation 2, SOCOM, a game called SOCOM came out on the PlayStation 2. Back when you used to have to plug a phone line into the back of your PlayStation 2 to play a game, I created a name, Crazy Gamer 919, and that was my gamer tag on PlayStation 2 for SOCOM. And then, you know, the years went by. On all PlayStation platforms, I used Crazy Gamer 919. I used Crazy Gamer 919 on my Xbox, Crazy Gamer on my Switch. You know, people who know me, you know, from other things, you know, they call me Crazy Gamer because, you know, I'm a little bit crazy and I enjoy my games. Not as much video games anymore, that I have a little bit more difficulty to play them. I enjoyed board games, complex board games, love my complex board games, things like that. If you used to watch my channel in the past, you know, I attempted to do video playthroughs of said board games. So I've always been a big fan of games and things like that, so, you know, I kept the name Crazy Gamer. And I was doing Warhammer stuff and all that good stuff. And I was unable to do the Warhammer stuff anymore because I'm pretty much restricted to the house. I mean, I get out for doctor's appointments and things like that, but due to some disabilities that I suffer from, I am, hey John, what's going on? I am pretty much restricted to the house. So I can't get out to the Warhammer store or, you know, play Warhammer games. You know, I play occasionally with my son when I'm up to it, but basically standing or focusing on a game for an hour or 2 hours long is more than my body can handle anymore. So I enjoyed the modeling aspect of Warhammer stuff. So I was at the hobby store. I got out of the house. You know, my wife took me to the hobby store, and she's like, "Well, why don't you just get a regular model and just try building that and see if that you know suits my fancy, you know, on my whole rehabilitation process." And I enjoyed it. I got a Berged Panther from Tacom, just the same brand as this kit I'm building now, and I loved it. I loved building it. I enjoyed painting it, and I enjoy working on it still. It's a work in progress. I still work on it. I bring it up occasionally in videos, not as much as I used to, because I have other modeling interests. So I focus mainly on building models like this, and it helps me cope with, you know, my disabilities, and it allows me to feel like I have a sense of purpose, basically, because of the limitations that I face. So it gives me a sense of purpose, of that I belong to a community, or that just basically the sense of purpose thing. So this is what I do, and if you know, if I can't share my video insight, or well, this piece doesn't want to go in there at all, does it? I can't share my insight with people. That's gonna affect me. And you know, talking to some people, they've reassured me that, you know, I'm gonna be okay and all that good stuff. But you know, when you have something that you love, and you know, you want to share it with some people, and then they're basically saying that you can't share it anymore, it's gonna tick you off. I mean, you know, I try not to, you know, get too worried about things because of my heart condition, but you know, these things happen, and this thing with YouTube and Kappa and all this stuff is basically putting me to limits. It really has me worried. I don't want my channel deleted, and I don't want to be fined $42,000. Nobody wants to be fined $42,000. And I go on YouTube, and I see like a lot of my favorite content creators posting videos like, this will be my last YouTube video. I will not post any more videos due to liability issues. So, you know, at first I wasn't that concerned, because I read it briefly. I didn't understand what was going on 100%, and I looked into it, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, my stuff's not for kids. You know, my kits are all 14 and up. I don't you know, advertise, say, hey kids, come check out my model. 41K per video. That is crazy, and I'm crazy, I know. So you know, 42,000. So I don't make videos targeted to kids. I don't put thumbnails as clickbait. You know, I normally either put my Crazy Gamer model graphics as I don't know what went up on this video, probably a picture of a tank, which is my cover photo on YouTube. So that's my thumbnail. It's not, oh my god, it's a Pokemon game, check it out, and then I bait you into watching me clean parts and listen to me complain about YouTube and the possibility of my channel getting deleted. I don't do that. I mean, I was blatant in my description of my video. This is the future of my channel and what's to come in 2020. I don't say, oh my God, you have to hear what I have to say and all that stuff. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, you know, I have a giveaway. I do huge giveaway, and I mean, I think my giveaway was pretty big for a channel my size. You know, you guys get to pick what's in the giveaway, and it can increase in value based on the number of subscribers and all that good stuff. So, you know, to me, that's a huge giveaway, and if somebody thinks that that's clickbait, I'm sorry and I apologize. But that doesn't matter anymore, because free things and giveaways and things like that are going to be labeled as targeted for kids. So labeling a video is going to be number one thing that is going to have to change on how I name my videos. Because, as you know, I build models of historical things. Say this King Tiger, or the Tirpitz, or Yorktown, or Alaska, or Yamata, or the North Carolina, which is, you know, the series we have going on. And I build these, and if somebody in elementary school is doing a project on World War II ships, and they Google, you know, North Carolina, and one of my modeling videos shows up, you know, that could be, say, hey, this guy's targeting kids because he's talking about the North Carolina, but it has nothing to do with the history of the North Carolina, even though I do talk about the history of the North Carolina in it, but I don't advertise that in my description or my title of my video. So, and I won't in the future. But it doesn't matter if a kid stumbles across my video, because that's not going to be who determines whether or not I violated the COPPA laws. It is going to be determined by not a child, not a YouTube algorithm. It's going to be determined by somebody in an office just searching through YouTube channels and searching through videos and saying, hey, that thumbnail looks like it's for kids and it wasn't labeled for kids, so boom, there's a fine. I mean, I don't know if they're going to instantly fine people or things like that, but that is a reality that is possible. Mix that piece up. Now I'm going to do this video talking. I'm going to mess up all this model. That's going to be funny. It's going to be comedy after all. That's another thing. If, you know, apparently if I make jokes, that could be deemed for children, whether they're appropriate or not. So what I have determined, and I have talked to a couple of people who have, you know, studied the law, and one of them is an actual lawyer for people who stream and privacy protection and things like that for streamers and stuff. And what was explained to me is, don't have anything in your video descriptions or your any way your video can be searched that would have kid related things in it. And then you could probably label your things not kid related. Now that's not legal advice. Don't take that advice. Don't do what I just said and then you get in trouble and then you blame me for saying it. But from what I was told, what's best for my channel is to stay away from keywords and tags and searchable things in my videos that would be related to targeting kids. And that gets back to my channel name, Crazy Gamer Models. Explain how I got the name and why I use it. But now that games is considered a kid subject now, and according to YouTube and the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, that's going to be all about kids. It's going to be targeted to kids. So the first thing that is going to change, that is going to be major, that people who subscribe to my channel and are looking for my content, is the name of my channel is going to change. Name I've had since PlayStation 2, that I've used almost my entire life, Crazy Gamer, I am no longer going to be allowed to use on YouTube. It's not a risk that I'm willing to take. Now, some people may say, "Oh, you don't have to worry about that." You don't. I'm not going to take the chance. I'm not going to risk the little I have to keep a name. So I am open to suggestions on new names for the channel. I am kind of beholden to my intro, welcome to Crazy Gamer Models. I'm the Crazy Gamer and I do models. So I kind of like the I do models part because, I don't know, it humors me. You may not like it, other people may not like it, but it humors me, and that's what's important. So I would like to keep that. So if you're going to suggest names, try to keep that in mind, that I do want to keep my catchphrase because I like it. So, and I don't want to have to give up everything I like about the channel for these rules. So that's basically the name thing. So if you have name suggestions, I've already had suggestions of Crazy J models. So some people like that. That's basically the only suggestion we have so far. It doesn't. We don't have to have crazy in there, or just for the record, my name's Jason. So you could have something Jason Models or something. I'm Jason, I do models. I don't know. So also, my wife pointed out that if I do something like Jason Models, that people are going to think that I do modeling, like not scale modeling, but I'm an actual model, and I don't know, I might get a lot of hate for that. I don't know. So, and then plus, I bet you there are channels out there called Jason Models. I haven't searched for it, but I'm pretty sure there are channels called Jason's Model, and that'll be a hard, people are looking for my new channel name. It's going to be hard to find. Right now, if you type in Crazy Gamer Models, my channel comes up. I mean, that's just something that comes up, because I don't think there is any other Crazy Gamer Models channels on YouTube. So, I was happy with the way that worked out, and as many of my regulars know, and as you see at the beginning of the screen, and I put the links up. My email is crazygamermodels@gmail.com. My Instagram is Crazy Gamer Models. My Facebook page is Crazy Gamer Models. And my Twitter got screwed up, and it's not Crazy Gamer Models, but it's Crazy GA, and so on and so forth. But I gotta change all that. All this stuff, my logo, my Patreon is Crazy Gamer Models, so I'm gonna have to make some changes on that, and different things, logo, and definitely my intro, because one of the regulations on kid content is vibrant and bright colors. So, but that could work. Zoolanders 3 Jason Models. Okay, I didn't know about that. That's funny. So, wow, that took me off guard. That was funny. That was good, John. Thanks. So I have to redo all the work that I've done since I received my new computer and started live streaming, and all the slides and all the work I've put in the channel. If I have to change my channel name, I'm going to have to change all that work that I so far worked hard to do. And for me, working on the computer is not easy for me. I don't do well working on the computer. I don't understand it. I'm not very computer adept. or tech savvy, so I don't know a lot of the terminology used. So when I go to search it, I don't find the information because I don't know the exact word of the operation I'm trying to perform. So I basically stick with what I've already learned and maybe try to pick up a thing or two here and there, or, you know, like I use Streamlabs OSB, so I watch videos on how to use Streamlabs OSB, but most of the videos on Streamlabs OSB is, you know, streaming gaming content with video capture cards and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, well, you know, what's the best way to stream model making? And, you know, you're not going to find videos on that because, you know, it's not a popular subject. So I try to avoid, you know, trying not to find that information and things like that. And there are people in communities that help out with things like that, but you know, they say there are no stupid questions, but as soon as you ask a question, 50 people will deem that it's a stupid question. So you gotta watch what you say in social media groups too. So that's that with the channel name and having to redo everything. So I'm taking suggestions on channel names. So I figured Crazy J, just the letter J, would be maybe not as much on YouTube as Jason models or things like that. So, you know, Jason builds models, you know, something, you know. And also, apparently, they're going after arts and crafts designated to kids, like kids arts and crafts. Like, what's a kid's arts and craft? I mean, my wife does all kinds of arts and crafts that a kid could do, but it's not, I mean, she's an adult. So there's a lot of ambiguity in the law and how it's written that it doesn't specifically define, you know, what is for kids, or, you know, if I carve, if I make a model of a Pokemon figure, I'm like, this is a how-to video on how to make Crazy J sounds like a joke reference. That's true. Damn it. Oh, sorry. Watch my language on that one. As a joke reference, yeah, that makes a joke reference. So we're gonna work on that. But I lost where I was there. Think for a second. Yeah, I don't know where I was on that point. I lose my train of thought all the time. Don't feel bad. There's a lot of information on what's happening and stuff like that, and you have to. Wow, how does this even go on? Well, this is like complicated. I guess it goes on there. Like, wow, it doesn't even have a post or anything. Or it did have a post and I sanded it off. Sounds like something I would do. So, but we got to work on a name, and we have to work on naming our videos. And what I came up with on doing my videos is starting January 1st, 2020, if my channel still exists, I will no longer be naming my videos as a blanket description of what's in the video. I will be naming it as, like on January 1st, if the video goes out January 1st, it'll be marked as whatever my channel name is. I will abbreviate it So if it's Crazy J Models, then it'll be CJM Season 1, Episode 1. And then if I'm working on this kit right here, I will put kit number 2047S, or TACOM kit number 2047S. And that'll be my description of my video. So you would have to be looking for the specific kit if you want information on what I'm building. So if you want information on this TACOM kit, you type in the kit number, my videos are still going to come up. But the kit is rated 14 and up. I mean, it says on the kit, I believe it says in this book right here. Anyways, it says on the box the manufacturer recommended age on these kits is 14 and up, 16 and up. Everything is minimum of 14 up. Anyways, at least anything I will futurely show on the channel will be 14 and up. So I'm covered by the manufacturer's recommended age protection. So if I list my videos under that protection that the manufacturer states, hey, this is for 14 and up, you know, you can't argue, oh, you're targeting kids, when I only advertised a kit for 14 and up. So I don't see how I targeted kids. This is very interesting kit here. This has got some weird little pieces on it. So, like that. I tell you, I built this whole TACOM kit here, and I know we're going to go off subject and talk about the kit. How dare I talk about a model, right? This has got, progressively, the pieces have gotten smaller and more complex as I've gone through the instructions. I mean, it was insane up to the part that I'm at right now, and then I got to this page with all these little itty bitty parts that I was like, wow, this has gotten way more intense part wise than it was before. So, alright, but this little organizer thing here is very useful in keeping it organized. So I enjoy my little parts mat here. And you know how people who view content are going to be affected. If you, say for example, enjoy something that is kid related, or you search on YouTube for a toy that your kid wants for Christmas, YouTube is automatically going to label you a child. You're not a child, you know. I'm 39 years old, and if I search for a Nerf gun for my 11-year-old for Christmas, or, you know, Minecraft board game, which I have looked up on YouTube, coming January, YouTube is going to label me as a child. And if I therefore, I love you, organizer. No, these containers are actually Mr. Hobby paint trays. They come in a 20-pack for like $4. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them at local hobby stores. But they're called Mr. Paint trays. They come in a 20-pack, and they're metal, and they stick to the magnetic. The pad's magnetic. It's an iFixit magnetic project mat, and then the little cups stick to it. But they're Mr. Hobby paint trays. So, anyways, so if I'm on YouTube and I'm searching for a kid's toy that my son wants, and I look at, a video that is deemed for children, you know, YouTube is going to label my account as being that of a child. That I'm a child, and I look at child stuff. So therefore, if I say, hey, and I want to go check out what Crazy Gamer's up to and see what models he's building, and I go over to his thing, and they're like, oh my God, why is a child watching a YouTube channel that's not deemed for children. What's going on here? Well, let's blacklist Crazy Gamer Models because he's advertising to children and he's not saying he's for children. So boom, let me get some fines, and then, you know, my channel gets shut down, and, you know, I'm in the poorhouse again. So that's, I mean that's a pretty rough, you know, statement, but that's literally what can happen. I mean, that's how vague the law is written. So you may think, oh yeah, I'm not worried about it. You know, I don't create content, it doesn't affect me, but, you know, it kind of does. It kind of affects everybody. So, I'm telling you, these pieces are tiny. I'm going to zoom in so you can see how small this stuff is. Look at this. Look at this tiny little thing. I mean, what? It was like that. I mean, I can't even hold it to glue it. This is insane. And, you know, I recommend, you know, we're going to talk about the model for a little bit because that's what I'm building. I recommend when you're working on these little itty bitty pieces like this, the Tamiya quick set. On larger parts, it doesn't provide a stronger bond than the regular Tamiya than extra thin, but for these little parts, it is incredible. It just beats them into submission very, very well. So I highly recommend that on these parts that are tiny. It is great. Where is U72? Did I not cut out U72? Yeah, I didn't cut out U72. What is this I have over here? U67. What is that from? What is U67? What have I done? Okay, you know what? This is nuts. 58. What am I looking at? Hold on, guys. I don't even know what is going on here. 59. Okay, so yeah, that definitely was in the wrong cup. So this was supposed to be in this cup up here. Okay, so that definitely got moved. See, even having hey, Love Minis, how's it going? I'm just talking about the channel and what we're gonna get going on here with the new YouTube regulations and stuff. Main point is I got to come up with a new channel name. So gamer can't be in it because that could be kid related. So suggestions, please. Anything you interested in on suggestions on that. But and otherwise, I just messed up. I mean, I just, you know, it's nice having the project map, but I definitely just yeah, I definitely just mixed up the pieces and didn't know what I was doing for a minute. Which is not rare for me. I tend to not know what I'm doing a lot. Now, see, they don't tell you not to glue this little piece that wobbles right here. But I guarantee you that I'm going to go to test fit it later and it's going to be out of alignment and I probably shouldn't glue it, so I'm not going to glue it. I'm going to not glue it. This little piece right here, it wobbles back and forth, and I'm assuming that's going to line up with something later, and if it doesn't have the freedom to move, then it is going to give me an issue, which I guarantee you that happens all the time with these TACOM kits. So we're going to get that situated right. Did I just build that? No, I didn't. I'll tell you guys, I'm having some issues today. this whole YouTube thing has got me flustered, to say the least, because of, you know, possible loss of the channel and, you know, having to change my name and all the stuff that I have associated with my name. And nobody will tell you, oh no, your name's fine, or you need to change your name. They're like, well, you know, talk to a lawyer. So you call a lawyer and they're like, well, to be safe, change it. But, you know, if you don't, we're not going to guarantee you're not safe. And if you do, we're not going to guarantee you're safe. So it's like, yeah, YouTube says, oh, contact a lawyer, which costs money, people, which, you know, if you are on YouTube, you probably don't make a lot of money unless you're huge and got millions and millions of subscribers. So, but I happen to have a lawyer in the family that actually has a guy in his firm that specializes in people who create content on social media and protections and stuff like that. And he did my family member a favor and asked him some questions for me and got me those answers, along with the statement, I'm not liable for anything that happens to you or your channel. So, you know, and then that was followed up by, even if you hire us, we're not liable to anything that happens to you or your channel. So, and the other thing was get business liability insurance. Yeah, I have 180 subscribers and I'm going to get business liability insurance. Seriously, this is seriously hurting free speech and content creation. So, you know, you can look at it, you know, I'm all for the protection of children. I mean, I think that is of utmost importance. But, you know, there is a limit to where, you know, you're hindering free speech, and, you know, it's getting a little extreme, people. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I'm not saying that we should track kids or you should let creators do whatever they want, but, you know, the parents, you know, if, I mean, I'm a parent. I have an 11-year-old. My son doesn't go on YouTube. He doesn't have a YouTube account. He doesn't use my YouTube. If he watches a video on YouTube, I watch it with him, and then I've watched it previously, or I know the creator of the video, and I've watched them before, and I know there's not going to be any inappropriate content, and that's basically the only way my son watches YouTube. And I happen to watch a lot of YouTube, but I normally, anything I watch is normally kid-friendly. I don't particularly watch anything. I don't find non-kid-friendly things appealing, to be honest with you. Just doesn't appeal to me at all. So I'm pretty much safe there. So, see, this part is weird. I'm going to show you guys this here, and it's going to come back to bite me. This piece right here, first of all, this was supposed to glue onto this section here, and there's no location on it, so it could go in any random position. It didn't have a location, so I said, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But it does fit into the back of this piece in this step, and that does have a location to orient it, so I did glue it on there, but I haven't glued this piece on yet, and I'm concerned about gluing that on because I have a feeling it's not going to line up later in this step here. So, I mean, it looks straight up and down, but it's got to fit in between these two pieces. So what I'm going to probably do is leave this off, not glue that yet, and go ahead and move down to 62. I've already made all the sub-assemblies, but I think I'm going to do this step here. I know my workbench is a mess and it's hard to see things, I'm sorry. So this goes on this. Again, with no orientation. Look, it could just spin freely. Seriously, people. Seriously. Wow. Just wow. Look, see what I'm talking about. Look, it just spins. Like, come on, people. Come on. Now I'm going to have to move this on here. Like, so. Come on, people. I mean, normally TACOM's fantastic, and I have nothing but good things to say about TACOM. But I've gotten to this part 2 days ago, and I'm like, seriously, where are all the location points? I mean, they have location for everything. They have location for stuff that doesn't need location. But on this whole lower turret assembly, which is in such a tight, compact spot, you need all this location to be perfect, and they don't give you any location at all. None whatsoever. So, I find this interesting. Okay, so that's that. So now, let me put this. Okay, we're going to hold off on that too, and we're going to get this piece over here. I'm sure this is interesting to you guys. I really don't have anything else on the future of the channel. Just in 2020, I'm going to be labeling my videos different. My descriptions are going to be different. I am going to mark them not for kids and not restricted to over 18. But my titles are going to be very generic. My tags are going to have to be very generic. And I'm just saying, if you want to see my modeling content, subscribe to the channel. And if you want my channel to grow, please, when you see my videos, share them with anybody who you would think would watch it, and share it and pass on the message to share the video, because that's basically it. That's basically the only way to make the channel grow, is to do that. This is like, okay, it goes like that apparently. I hope you guys can see how crazy I'm having to put this together. This is ridiculous. The lack of location on this section alone is just, I don't understand it. I mean, I honestly, with the TACOM kit, I thought I was going to come on here and talk about the channel and just coast through this, but it appears that that is not the case, that this is going to be an issue putting this together. Now if I put this on here like that, line that up like that, see, I'm hoping that the FTC people will watch videos like this and be like, my God, no kid would sit through this boringness. I mean, he's sitting there wrestling with a piece of plastic and the plastic's winning. So I'm hoping that I skate through. Now, if I put in the description, hey, watch me get beat by a piece of plastic, kids would probably want to watch that because that would be funny. I just make sure I don't put that in the description or the video title. But, you know, it's not a crazy gamer video until something defeats me or attempts to defeat me. You know. I'm going to let that dry, and I want to show you guys something interesting since both of my favorite subscribers are here. Check this out. This is the haul of the Turpits, the one I'm building on the live stream that we're going to get back to. I've been talking about brush painting without an airbrush, just brush painting strictly on a large flat surface like this. And yes, this looks extremely rough, but this is primer. This is Mr. Surfacer 1500, and I brushed it on with this Crazy's tanks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What do I do when I build a ship or an aircraft? We know how much I try to get aircraft on here. Irritating. Hate aircraft. I love to build aircraft, but I hate trying to film it because it never works. Anyways, this is primer that I brushed on with a brush, and it looked way worse than this. And then I hit it with some Tamiya 1500 sanding sponge to take down the rough edges. And in my next live stream, I am going to attempt to brush on this Vallejo model color Hall Red here. I want to brush that on with a brush and let it cure for a couple days and see if I can sand it back to a good looking finish that it would be presentable as a model that was not airbrushed but brush painted that still looked good. So, now I know this primer coat looks blotchy and bad, but I assure you it's smooth. There's no high spots or low spots. It's all smooth, and it is completely primed. So I'm hoping the Vallejo paint sticks to it in a way that I can slightly sand it back to make the brush strokes go away, and then hopefully put on a second coat and it look good. Actually, you know what? I am gonna we're gonna mix things up here because this could be the end. So we're gonna put the lid on the glue, put the glue up. We're gonna slide my little parts tray in its parts tray box. I'm gonna move that, put the clippers up, get that up, put that right there, put my book away, and we're gonna get out that, and we're gonna get out this, and we're gonna get a cup, and we're gonna get this paint. We're gonna mix up the paint. We're gonna paint it. We're gonna do it right now. I'm not gonna paint the whole thing because I have some other experiments I want to do with some different paints. But we're gonna. You should get a USS Enterprise CVN-65 and then an AF-14A Tomcat. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this in my previous video, but I have a Yorktown. Yeah, I think I talked about it because the box was damaged. I have a Yorktown, and I have a bunch of pictures of the Yorktown in its museum state in I believe it's a place called Charleston, South Carolina. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but it's a city in South Carolina. You may not have heard of it. It is there that I believe that they have it on display with a bunch of planes from different eras on the flight deck. Yeah, I didn't think you would have heard of that place, John. I wouldn't think you would. So, they have all these different planes, and I'm thinking about doing that with my Yorktown. Doing it as the display ship, the museum ship that she is in Charleston. So I'm honestly thinking about that. You know, I'm really hoping that one day I can find a YouTube video of someone taking a tour of the Yorktown that could possibly live in South Carolina, and they would like go take a tour of the Yorktown and then make a cool YouTube video about it. You know, I'm hoping one day that something cool like that happens. So we'll see. Now I'm gonna slather this paint on, guys, because this is an experiment, and I know I got a lot of paint on that brush, and I did thin it. I really did. I thinned it. So that's, you know, so we're gonna brush this on here and see. Make sure I get this on camera. We're gonna brush this on there like that. Now listen, before anybody says that it's not painted this color this high up on the ship, I am 100% well aware of that. This is a $13 Tirpitz model that I am building on a live stream because my wife got it at an outlet store and it seemed like a fun thing to do. So I am using it as a test mule for this brush painting thing. So that is the purpose of what we have going on here. So there we're gonna, I think I got too much paint here, but we'll go a little bit further. We'll try to, because I got some other things I want to try. I got some other paints that I want to try this technique with and see if it's able to be sanded. So, and I'm welcome. Yeah, you know, me and my wife have actually talked about going to South Carolina and then hitting North Carolina for the North Carolina. North Carolina for the North Carolina. And then, and you know, maybe see what you were up to. But, you know, because my wife wants to go to Savannah, Georgia, and I figured, well, you know, we should just make a whole road trip thing and, you know, head up and then, you know, stay in all three places. Because she likes the ship museum things too, because she likes all that haunted history and stuff, and, you know, she's going to do all her little, you know, things with that. So I think that'd be cool. So, but we have talked about it. It's hard for me to get out of the house. It really is. And I try to do things, you know, to get out of the house and do things. Right now we're doing robotics with my son, and that is taking up our time currently. But I am really trying to make an effort to get out more. I really am. I normally only get out maybe once a month to go to a store, normally the hobby store, and that's not even the case. And then I go to a doctor, 4 different doctors, 4 different times in the month, and that's basically the only time I get out of the house. So I am honestly trying to get out of the house more. So it's not a bad color. I like that color a lot. And you know, that doesn't look that bad, one coat brush painted. I mean, that's like one coat I brushed on there. That doesn't look that bad. That doesn't look that bad at all. So let's move on. That's that. Let's clean the brush here. And I have another idea of, if I got low, I stepped away to clean my brush, because I'm not going to bring over all that stuff right this second. This is spur of the moment. I didn't plan on doing this, but we're going to do it anyways. I have got some other things to try this on. Alright. I got these because someone said something. And they said that you can sand this Winsor Newton acrylic paint and you can thin it. So I am going to take some of these colors here. I'm going to take this little thing right, this cup right here, and I'm going to take a little bit of this raw umber, because that's like a brown, and then I'm going to take some of this red, right, this crimson alluring. I don't know, these are professional acrylic paint. It's red. I got a red and a brown. That's what I got there. That's what we're going with. But buddy of these got me as a gift when I said I wanted some paint. I could sand. He said he paints with this and he sands it. So we're going to see how much he lied. So, and I am going to thin it with the same thinning medium that I used for the Vallejo, because it's my favorite thinning medium. It is the Vallejo thinner medium. Big fan of that. You can vote on that as, oh no, that was last week's. But, you know, that was an option for one of the giveaways. So, we're going to mix this up here. It's very thick. I have no idea if this is going to work. I have no clue. It's not a bad color. But, well, this is part of the experiment, guys. You're watching the experiment live. So, it's very maroon, but, you know, we'll worry about the actual color of it later, if we can sand it or not. That's all I care about, is if it feathers when we sand it, or if it's even good for brushing painting. I don't know. So, I guess it could work, but it needs more brown. Definitely needs more brown. But, you know, this isn't a let's mix some colors video. This is, let's try brush painting this on and then sanding it in 2 days. So, you can be sure to check back in the next stream, which will definitely be before the first of the year. Oh, that's another thing about the channel. My content's going to dip a little bit until this whole COPPA thing is figured out. So I will be doing videos. They're mostly going to be streams and maybe looking at some products, just random products. But I'm not going to do any in-depth videos or spend a week project on something if it could possibly be taken down in a couple weeks. So I am going to live streams, from what I understand, aren't affected. So they're just affected after you post them. So, but if I do it live, you know, most people I care about watch it already. So that's that color. That's hey, you know, that's honestly not a bad haul color, because, you know, that one dried really brown next to that. Now that you got the red color next to it, that other one dried really, really brown. So, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, if it had a little bit more brown in it, I don't think that that would be a bad color. So, and if you guys have any ideas on this, like, you know, on, you know, painting, brush painting and sanding, you guys don't hesitate to, you know, share your information, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm experimenting. This is what I do. This is how I figure out things. So, the term crazy is overused on YouTube. Yeah, I know, but I explained earlier in the video, Crazy Gamer, back when PlayStation 2 came out, I'm going to say the early 2000s, if not the late 90s, there was a game called SOCOM, and it was online, and you had to create a gamer tag. And at that time, I created a gamer tag called Crazy Gamer 919, and that gamer tag has stuck with me since then. Every game I've ever played, I've always used Crazy Gamer 919 or Crazy Gamer in some respect to game, even like board games and competition tabletop games I used to play. You know, I was always Team Crazy, you know, crazy gamer, which I always referred to myself. And, you know, having not being able to use that anymore is you know, it's hard. It's sad because I've always, I mean, everybody that I personally know, I mean, it's Crazy Gamer, what's going on? I mean, even family's like, yo, Crazy, what's up? You know, it's just something I've always been called, and, you know, I am crazy about tabletop games. I was crazy about video games. You know, I'm not really good at playing them anymore. You know, lots changed in that. But, you know, it was always a term that described me and stuck with me. And, you know, now it's like, I gotta let that go. So, and like I said, not nobody's told me, oh, you're gonna get fined if you use that name, but nobody's told me I'm safe either. So, you know, my best course of action to make sure my channel isn't automatically deleted because I'm not commercially viable to YouTube is to come up with a name that's not going to be any remotely relation to something kids watch. You know, I'm crazy about models. I'm crazy about model building. You know, I'm a very passionate person. I'm actually probably a little bit crazy. My handle was always IWJev, but there was just something with my name not hiding anything. Is Bloodstorm and Killion, and I first used when I started playing Battletech, which I played the Wolf Clan. Yeah, so see, yeah, you know, I just, you know, people have always called me crazy, so not, well, maybe because I'm crazy, but that was always a nickname I've had, even before. I remember, you know, living on the beach, and when I was 16, 17, and people would call me crazy because I do crazy, stupid things. Not anymore, but, you know, back then I did. So, you know, it was a name that always stuck with me, and I always thought it was interesting and fun to play with. So, but I'm open to suggestions to anybody that has any other ideas on an option. So, alright. I have another color here that I want to try. That we're gonna British Crimson, burnt sienna flat. Let's put it closer. There we go. Burnt sienna flat from Model Master. I know it's an enamel, and it's not an acrylic paint, but it may be able to be sanded and brushed on without any issues, and then sanded. So shake it up. I'm pretty much going to chuck this brush in the trash when I'm done with it, so I want to make sure I don't get a good one, because I don't have anything to clean. I don't have anything to clean enamel paint at the moment, so I'm just going to take, yeah, this is very brown. I have to add some red to this, but I'm not going to. So I'm just going to paint this spot right over here with this color. And of course I'm not on camera. So I'm just going to brush paint this one section, and then when it dries, we'll see if it's sandable. And of course, if it's sandable, we get a second coat on there. And I'm hoping for a, wow, this paint stinks. That is bad. So, well, I never used Model Master paint before. Wow, that stinks. I know it's testers, but wow, that stinks bad. Can't think of any content that you do could not be wonderful. Yeah, but see, it's not. See, that's where people get confused. If I say, hey, my content is appropriate for kids, and I mark it as appropriate for kids, my subscribers won't get notifications of the videos. It can't be shared. It can't be commented on. It can't be searched. It can't be recommended. So it basically it's dead in the water. It's like it doesn't exist. And if I mark it not for kids and somebody in Washington thinks it's, you know, targeted towards kids, then I get fined. So it's not as easy as saying, oh, hey, I make kid-friendly content, so let's mark it all for kids, and then I'm good to go. Well, then nobody would see the videos. Even my own subscribers won't get notifications of my videos because notifications are turned off. Comments are turned off. Any future revenue or anything like that would be just dead in the water. It's not. So I couldn't even share the link on Facebook. Couldn't share the link on my Twitter or my Instagram. It's an unshareable link, and it's pretty much unsearchable and all that stuff. Yeah, no, it's not clear at all. It's a very vague. It's a very vague rule, and YouTube is like, oh, if you're confused, contact a lawyer, and the FTC is like, oh, well, you know, contact a lawyer. So, you know, not really many people have lawyers in the family or money for a lawyer. So I think a lot of smaller channels and, you know, people who just don't want to deal with the, you know, the BS, just quit or just give up. I mean, I do this, you know, because it helps me, you know, therapeutically to, you know, have a platform to share my purpose and to share what I do, to give me a sense of purpose and to, you know, make me feel better about the person that I am. So I you know, I want to continue to make content, whether it's for YouTube or if I create a website to issue my content. So, you know, I'm always going to create content. It's just, how am I going to get the content out there? And from what I understand, live streams, you know, you'll be able to watch the live stream, chat and comment and all that stuff, but the replay of the video, like after I stop streaming and the video is posted to YouTube, the comments will be disabled and all that stuff, depending on how you set your channel recommendations. And come before December 9th, I will be purging my channel of a lot of videos that I think would target a child. Not because I don't want children to watch my videos or because I think they're inappropriate for kids, just I don't want to be blacklisted because I have a couple videos like the Lego video, you know, that was a joke, and I don't want that on there because they're like, oh, look, Lego, he's targeting kids. So when I'm not, I mean, it was a joke and it got out of control, being an hour long. Plus, I'm going to have to change the category of my videos in because apparently educational videos are deemed for children. So I'm going to probably put it in like video and people and blogs or stuff in just, you know, season 1, episode 2 in 2020. And basically, you know, this day 15 of 2020 of my life working on kit number 2047S. You know, and then, you know, a very generic description of, you know, what my channel is, so it doesn't, you know, attract, you know, some bureaucrat in Washington that I'm targeting kids. And that's basically going to be my videos, to be the title of my videos and the description of my videos. It's not going to be, you know, not going to be flashy. I'm not going to do flashy thumbnails. I'm going to play it real safe. I probably don't have to play it real safe. I mean, I probably, you know, I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh, I have all these subscribers and I'm so popular that they're definitely going to hurt me. I don't want to take the chance that some computer bot or some automated software or some kind of whatever they use algorithm to see what your video is based on, that, you know, because there are kits, model kits out there for, you know, younger kids under 12, that all model kits are considered for kids under 12, and, you know, they take down my channel or they find me any money. So, you know, from here on out, every kit on my channel will have an age recommendation. Like, let's talk about this Turpitz, for example. Kits like this that say 10 and over will not be shown on my channel anymore. Anything like this kit right here, will not be shown on my channel anymore. I will finish this Turpitz up before, or hopefully before the rule comes into place in January, and then I'm gonna have to take the videos down because it's 10 and up. Kids, 10-year-olds want to build this model. They search it, and then they see my videos on it. So I might use it for an experiment like this. I think I can get by with that, but I would stick with kits in this general. Where's it at? Hold on, I'm just looking on this box here where it says it. See, if you look on this kit from Edard, this look at that, it's the BF110E. If you look at this, it says contains small and sharp parts, kit suitable for ages 14 and up. See, I'm protected by the manufacturer's age recommendation on this. So, if I put in, this Edard kit number, if you search for it, if you are 12 years old, why are you looking for a kit for 14 and up? I'm advertising for 14 and up. So as long as I, from what the people I've talked to, one being a lawyer that specializes in social media, told me as long as I stick with content that is sold for 14 and up, 13 and up, I'm, potentially safe. I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed that I'm safe, but, I'm safer than, than playing a Pokemon game on my channel. So it's confusing. I've done a lot of research on it. It's been difficult. So, but I think I am going to start to wrap it up. It's already been an hour and 15 minutes. We got this little thing going on that is really turned brown, guys. I don't know if that shows up on camera. Let's see if it shows up better on the side view. See how brown that is? Wow, that is like insane brown. And of course the other one we mixed by hand, so that's not a real true comparison. And then here's that enamel right there. It's already dry. So in the next stream we're gonna sand this back. We're gonna sand all this back and see if it's sandable and if it can be sanded and then another coat put on and see what it looks like. See if I can't brush paint this hull and make it look like it wasn't brush painted. So that's gonna do it for today, guys. Thank you guys for all of you guys who watched this and commented and shared your opinions on this. I'm hoping everything is going to work out well and everything goes well. So thank you guys for watching. For Crazy Gamer Models, I'm the Crazy Gamer. Have a